Do you enjoy learning with Vibal? Make your experience even more exciting by becoming a Vibal Group fan. Exclusive perks await fan subscribers. Get access to exclusive webinars. Enjoy free teaching resources. Check out exclusive content. Get discounts on Vibal products. All of these for only 55 pesos a month. Exciting, right? Subscribe as a fan now. Here's how. Visit, click, follow. First, visit Vibal Group's Facebook page. Then click Become a Supporter to purchase a monthly subscription. Lastly, follow the prompts that appear on your screen. But don't confuse this for top fan. Nuh-uh, it's a different thing. You need to follow the easy steps. Visit, click, follow. Be a Vibal Group fan and enjoy exciting perks today.
Good day, Kabibal, and welcome to our Speakers Demo Reel webinar series. For the discussion today, the topic will be on the essentials of news writing. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. Make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.vibalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions in the comment box allotted during the session and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to our Vibal webinars. Experience learning, Kavibal. And now, To proceed with our webinar this afternoon, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker today. John Adams Dabu Magtanong earned his degree, Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English, magna cum laude, from Bataan Peninsula State University, Dinalupihan Campus. He completed his master's degree in language education at the age of 23 and in the present, he is a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Education. His love for journalism was developed during elementary and continued until college. He became the champion in regional and national press conferences and served as the editor-in-chief of Malasimbo, the official student publication of BPSU Dinalupihan. He was also named News Writer of the Year, Opinion Journalist of the Year, and Feature Story Writer of the Year in the National Media Conference in Baguio City, and the first ever regional awardee and national nominee of the 10 Outstanding Students of the Philippines from BPSU Dinalupihan. In 2018, he represented the Philippines in the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative in Thailand. His skills in journalism were honed when he studied critical thinking and ASEAN journalism, organized the School of Global Studies, Thammasat University, the Asia Foundation, U.S. Embassy, and ICIALI. He had also earned certificate in English for journalism from the University of Pennsylvania through Coursera Scholarship. He became the most outstanding school paper advisor of Bataan and Region 3 for 2019, and outstanding school paper advisor of the Philippines in the 2020 National Schools Press Conference held in Tuguegarao, Cagayan. He serves as the president of the Bataan Association of Elementary and Secondary School Paper Advisors and public information officer of the National Secondary School Paper Advisors Association Incorporated. Currently, he is affiliated with Magsaysay National High School where he was awarded with Gawad Dakilang Guro and Most Outstanding Dinalupiheño Teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Mr. John Adams D. Magtanong.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that very humbling introduction. Let me share first my screen. Ayan, nakikita naman po ba ang presentation ko? Okay, so first and foremost, I would like to thank Vibal Group for inviting me in this demo reel. Maraming salamat, Vibal. This is my second time. Yung first time actually na na-invite ako as speaker is during the educational video workshops. And ngayon, campus journalism naman tayo. First and foremost, I would like to welcome my students. I have here Miss Lizette Christine Dulo, the school publication advisor of the Radarian, the official student publication of Roosevelt National High School. I also have here as my student, Mr. Sayan Mangawang, the 2019 Most Outstanding Campus Journalist of Bataan and second Outstanding Campus Journalist of Region 3. And of course, from the Vibal Group, we have Miss Jillian and Miss Sandra. Okay, let's begin. Hello everyone, again, an afternoon of grace to all. I am John Adams D. Magtanong from the Department of Education, Bataan, and I'm very thrilled to be your online teacher for today. Our topic will focus on the essentials of news writing. Without further ado, let's begin our discussion. Before we begin our discussion, let's first have a kumustahan sesh. It's very important to begin any discussion with a kumustahan session, especially now that everything seems to be chaotic because of the problems brought by the COVID-19 pandemic that the world is experiencing. So apart from being a health crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic is actually a social crisis also. The disease itself and the consequent of the community quarantine have brought about major and abrupt changes in our daily routine and disposition, compromising our mental and also our psychosocial well-being. That's why I firmly recommend to all teachers who are watching to always start your online class with a kumustahan sesh. So to my students, how are you today? Kamusta kayo? Kamusta ba kayo today? Okay, you can unmute your audio. Sige, simulan natin kay Mr. Sayan. Kamusta ka naman, Mr. Sayan? Hello?
Hello?
Ayan.
Naririnig po ba?
Yes. So, kamusta ka naman, Sayan?
I'm doing good, sir.
Okay, so Sayan is doing good. Okay, very good. How about Miss Sandra? Kamusta ka, Miss Sandra, ngayon?
Medyo busy po pero still fine pa rin.
Yeah, so medyo busy pero still fine pa rin. Pareho tayo, Miss Sandra. Napaka-busy natin ngayon, especially sa educational sector dahil sa paradigm shift from the traditional classroom setup natin into the new normal na tinatawag natin ngayon. Thank you very much, Miss Sandra. How about Miss Lizette? How are you today, Miss Lizette? Miss Lizette?
Hello, sir.
Hello, Miss Lizette. Kamusta po kayo ngayon?
Naririnig po ba, sir?
Yes, naririnig po.
Hello po.
Ayan, naririnig
Hello,
po
sir.
kayo. Yes,
Hello,
ma'am,
hello,
naririnig
sir.
po kayo.
Naririnig po ba?
Yes. Kamusta po kayo?
Multitasking, sir. Apo, multitasking, sir, habang nakikinig po sa webinar, nagpapak ng modules.
Ay, nagpapak ng module.
Opo.
Ma'am Lizette is actually
Yes
a
po.
teacher also sa Roosevelt National High
Multitasking,
School.
sir, habang nakikinig sa webinar, nagpapak ng modules.
Ayan, sige. Thank you very much, Ma'am Lizette. How about Miss Jillian? Kamusta ka, Miss
Ayun,
Jillian?
sir.
Hello po, sir. I'm feeling okay po and excited.
Okay, feeling okay and excited. Very good then. So ako, if you're going to ask me kamusta ako ngayon, sabi ko nga, I'm very thrilled dahil nabigyan na naman ako ng opportunity to share my little knowledge about campus journalism, specifically sa category ng news writing. Okay? So, ayun. For our next activity, the title of our activity is Say Something. Okay? I'm going to show you photos and then you are going to say something about those photos. You can describe the photo, you can narrate an event connected to that photo, or you can even relate that photo to yourself. Okay? So malinaw ba yung instruction ko? So sige, simulan na natin. The first photo is this. So ano bang alam nyo sa photo na to? Can you describe or narrate something related to this photo? Sige. Simulan natin kay Mr. Sayan. Mr. Sayan, anong masasabi mo sa photo na to?
Hello po, sir. Naririnig po ba ako?
Yes, naririnig ka.
So, this picture shows the military coup in Myanmar which took charge last February 1, wherein they declared a year-long state of emergency. The woman on the tarp is Aung San Suu Kyi, the newly elected leader of Myanmar, where her Democracy Party won by a landslide following a general election.
Yes, correct.
They were seized by the armed forces who had backed the opposition, who were demanding a rerun of the vote, claiming widespread fraud.
Yes, correct. The photo is actually in connection with the military coup which is happening now in Myanmar. Very good, Sir Sayan. Next photo naman, we have here this photo. Okay, let's see kung anong masasabi naman ni Ma'am Jillian. Do you know anything about this photo?
Yes, sir. This photo went viral because there was a commotion about the law that it is required that children below 12 years old should have the seat or the passenger seat that is quite questionable, because for those who are tall and those children that will children like this in this photo that will they say that will cause problems and issues when they ride using the seat, the safety seat.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Jillian. Very good. You are updated with the current information or current news about our country. This photo is actually trending on Facebook. Ma'am Jillian is correct. It is related to the Child Safety in Motor Vehicles Act. So Duterte has ordered the postponement of the implementation of this law, which is under Republic Act 11229, or the Child Safety in Motor Vehicles Act. The full implementation of this Republic Act was supposed to take effect last February 2, but what was deferred due to the current economic situation in our country because of the COVID-19. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Jillian. Next photo. How about this photo? What can you say about this photo? Ma'am Sandra, can you say something about this photo? Are you familiar with this man in the photo? Ay, nawala yata si Ma'am Sandra. How about, sige, Ma'am Lizette? Hello? Nawala rin yata si Ma'am Lizette. Sige, balik tayo kay Sir Sayan. Sir Sayan, what can you say about this photo? Are you familiar with the person in this photo?
Hello po, sir.
Hello, Sayan. What can you say about the man in the
Sir,
photo?
the picture shows po the newly elected US President Joe Biden. I think this is about the former president's restrictive immigration policies, where Joe Biden is signing new executive orders regarding that.
Okay, correct. Very good. Very good, Sayan. The man in the photo is actually Joe Biden, correct? He is the new president of the United States of America. The presidential electors gave Biden a solid majority of 306 electoral votes against Trump's 232. The same margin that Trump bragged was a landslide when he won the White House 4 years ago. Correct. Very good. Next photo. Okay. Balik ulit tayo kay Ma'am Jillian. Ma'am Jillian, what can you say about this photo naman?
This photo, I think, sir, is the jeepney drivers or workers that lost their jobs during the pandemic when we had the lockdown. So they have no choice but to ask alms from people who pass by.
Okay, correct. Impressive. The man in the photo is a jeepney driver. Forced off the road by the coronavirus lockdowns that we experienced, Philippine jeepney drivers ply the streets of Manila on foot, begging for money to fill the hungry tummies of their families. This is evident especially during the Christmas vacation during December 2020. Okay? And we have here the last photo. Okay? So, nandyan na ba ang iba nating students? I think wala pa rin sila. So, balik ulit tayo kay Sir Sayan. Sir Sayan, what can you say about this photo naman?
Go po, sir.
Ayan. Sige, narinig ka.
The picture simply shows po the implementation of the COVID-19 vaccinations.
Yes, correct. So this is probably one of the most talked about news in the Philippines, the COVID-19 vaccine. The initial batch of the COVID-19 vaccines from the Global Vaccine Sharing Scheme, COVAX, is expected to arrive on Monday, as it gave an assurance that the government would be ready to launch its vaccination drive next week. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said that the government expected to hear from COVAX anytime now, on the exact date of the vaccine's delivery and said all preparations were in place once this arrived in our country. Let's hope for that so that we can go back to our normal life little by little. Okay? So thank you very much for your answers. These photos actually represent few of the most recent happenings not only in the Philippines but in the world. One of the characteristics of an effective news writer is that they are updated with the latest stories, issue, and other matters that may affect their readers. Okay? Now let's begin our discussion about news writing. First question, what is a news? Uh, the word news, according to some people, is actually an acronym and it is also an abbreviation. If it is an acronym, ano kaya ang ibig sabihin ng news na acronym kung acronym siya? Can you guess? Meron ba tayong guess dyan kung anong ibig sabihin ng news? Kung acronym daw ang word na news, ang ibig sabihin niya ay North, okay, East, West, and South. Okay? Kung naman abbreviation ang word na news, ang ibig sabihin niya raw ay new stories. It is an abbreviated form of the phrase new stories. Okay? So ano ngayon ang ibig sabihin ng news? News are news stories from North, East, West, and South. Okay? The purpose of news writing is to give the readers the information that will impact them in some way. It usually flows from the most important to the least important. So ang flow ng news writing, in the flow of news writing, we are following the inverted triangle structure. Mamaya ipapaliwanag ko sa inyong mabuti kung ano ba ibig sabihin ng inverted triangle natin or yung ibang tao kasi ang tawag sa kanya is inverted pyramid. Not only information, but accurate, new, relevant information that may have an impact to our readers. Remember that the people will read an article because it interests them. So they will not read the story if it does not affect them in any way. So the flow of story would also be from the most important to the least important. This follows yung inverted triangle style of writing natin na binanggit ko nga kanina. So I'm going to discuss it later so that you will be able to understand it more. Okay? According to Walter Cronkite, who is a former CBS News anchor, what is news? It is information only. The difference between a news story and an editorial article is that a news is only a presentation of facts, while an editorial is the interpretation of the news. So in writing a news article, the writer must put in their mind that opinions and views should be avoided because a news story is all about information and data only. Okay? So, ayan. Sa slide, nakikita nyo ang inverted triangle structure. So, sabi ko nga, yung iba kasi ang tawag dito is inverted pyramid, but I call it as inverted triangle kasi hindi naman siya 3D. Okay? So, sa inverted triangle, we have three parts, the lead, the body, and the tail. So, from the most important siya to the least important, kaya binaligtad yung triangle. So, sa lead, ano yung mga makikita natin? The most important information about the event. So, ano-ano yung mga information na to? Yung mga W's natin in H. Yung who, what, where, when, why, and also yung how. And then for the body, the crucial information expanding the story. So pwedeng makita sa body ang argument, the controversy, the story, the evidence, and some background details. And for the tail, we are writing in the tail some extra information, interesting related items, and journalist assessment. Okay, so that is the inverted triangle structure. Let's discuss now the different elements of news. Okay, we have immediacy, proximity, prominence, conflict, consequence, drama, and progress. Okay, I'm going to discuss it one by one. First one is immediacy, or also called as timeliness. It is an important requisite of news. A writer usually places emphasis on the latest angles of an event or a program. The words today and tomorrow are related in most of the news stories. Occasionally, a story may concern events that happened in the past. In this case, the writer discusses some present aspects of a past event. Okay? That is timeliness, or also called as timing or immediacy. Next one is the proximity or the nearness. It refers to the geographic nearness. Normally, a reader is more interested in an event geographically nearer than the one which has taken place in some remote part of the world. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Meron tayo halimbawa na dalawang event. Okay, the first event happened in the Philippines. Okay? Tapos yung isang event naman natin, nangyari siya sa Japan. So ano yung mas ibabalita natin sa dalawa? Siyempre, ang ibabalita natin, yung una. Kasi mas malapit siya sa atin. At kapag mas malapit sa atin, mas interesado tayong malaman kasi pwedeng makaapekto iyon sa atin. So ayun yung ibig sabihin ng proximity or nearness. Okay? Next one. Next is prominence or popularity. Okay? Prominence means persons, places, things, and situations known to the public for their weather, for their social position, achievement, or previous publicity. So the writer should always add as many prominent names and prominent places in news story as possible. So the more known a particular name, place, event, or situation, the more interest the news will create among its reader. Okay? For instance, mayroong dalawang bumisita sa school. Okay? Mayroon dalawang bumisita sa school. Ang unang bumisita is magulang ng iyong kaklase. Ang ikalawang bumisita naman is si Vice President Leni Robredo. So ano kaya yung ibabalita natin sa dalawa? Definitely, ang ibabalita natin yung pangalawa. Okay? Yung pangalawa, yung pagbisita ni President Leni Robredo. Why? Because prominent na tao si Vice President Robredo. Okay? After prominence, we also have the Adity or the queerness. Okay? It always helps to make facts interesting. The greater the degree of oddity or peculiarity in a story, the greater is its value as news. Okay? So yung kakaibang anggulo. Ito naman, kasi meron tayong mga competition for campus journalism. Ang Adity, minsan ito tinitingnan natin to sa binibigay na information sheet sa atin para mas maging maganda yung ating article na gagawin para stand out siya. So titingnan natin yung odd na angle or yung kakaibang angulo. Okay? After Adity or the queerness, we also have what we call as the conflict or the problem. Okay? It is one of the most important elements of a news story. It is inherent in nearly all news of sports, news of war, crime, violence, as well as yung mga internal disputes, and in all stories involving difference of opinion. So generally, the news of conflict also involves other news values such as yung drama, or yung Adity, and therefore it has an emotional impact, a factor that appeals to many people. So many types of stories have conflict as their underlying element. So example niyan yung man's struggle with nature or yung natural forces. Another one is a struggle between individual and an organized society. Okay? And another one, yung struggle naman between political or economic groups such as yung mga war, yung mga strikes, yung mga campaigns. Okay? So that is for conflict or problem. Next one, we have consequence. Okay? Effect. A reporter should emphasize the angle of a story that will interest most readers in terms of consequences. Okay? Take note that our readers will read news stories that will have an effect or consequence to them. Okay, babasahin nila yan kapag may impact sa kanila yung binabasa nila, yung topic na isinulat mo sa iyong news article. Okay? And we also have the drama or action. Sa drama naman or sa action, it promotes naman yung value of a news story. Writer always tries to find picturesque background and dramatic action for his news. When you are looking for a good angle of your story, look for the dramatic action in the event that you are writing about, because it will give additional flavor in your article, in your story. Okay? And the last one for the elements of the news, we have what we call as progress or betterment. Ito naman, it involves any significant change for the betterment of humanity or for the progress of the society. So it may also refer to an achievement in the laboratory, in the industry, or in the legislative body. Okay? So ayun yung progress or betterment. Now let's discuss the checklist for news writers. Okay? These are some reminders when you are writing a news story. First one, are the most important and recent facts first. Okay? Sabi ko nga kanina, we should follow the inverted pyramid style of writing, yung structure ng inverted triangle or inverted pyramid. Kasi from the most important to the least important information. Okay? Next one, is your story accurate? Okay? Are the sources identified fully? Importante rin, significant din na accurate lahat ng information. Accuracy is very important, is a very important factor or aspect in news writing. Kasi kapag mali yung information natin, ang tawag na dyan is fake news. Okay? And then, are the sources identified fully? Sino yung mga sources? Sino yung mga pinagkuhanan natin ng information? Are they identified? Okay, are they recognized? Okay, tatandaan natin yon. Next one, are the paragraphs short? In news writing, sometimes we follow the one sentence, one paragraph rule. Okay, pero sometimes naman, may mga paragraph na 2 sentences, okay lang naman yon. 2 to 3 sentences, okay pa yon. Pero hanggat maaari, 1 sentence per paragraph lang talaga tayo sa news article. Para nun, hindi siya tar something none. Okay, so 1 sentence, 1 paragraph rule. Okay, next one. Is the sentence structured varied in the story? Is there variation in your news? Is there variation in your article? Remember that also. Another one, does your story flow? Okay, did you use the TQ formula? TQ means transition quotation formula. I'm going to discuss that later. Meron siyang sariling slide niya. Okay? And the last one, did you use active voice? Okay? Sa news writing din, most commonly ang ginagamit natin is always the active voice of the verb. Okay? May mga pagkakataon na nakakagamit tayo ng passive, pero as much as possible, active voice ang gagamitin natin kapag nagsusulat tayo ng news article. What now? Now naman, pag-aralan natin ang different pitfalls to avoid. Ano yung mga dapat nating iwasan when we are writing a news article? First one, paragraphs too long. Sabi ko nga kanina, 1 sentence, 1 paragraph tayo sa ating news story. Next one, misspelling names in the story. Napaka-importante rin na alam natin yung tamang spelling ng mga taong inilalagay natin sa story natin, sa news story natin, sa article natin. Lalo na kung ang mga tao na ito ay prominente. Okay? Kung ang mga tao na ito ay famous. Okay? Kahit naman hindi mga famous masyado na tao, kailangan correctly spelled pa rin yung pangalan nila. Kasi kapag misspelled yan, hindi na sila yan. Okay? Hindi na sila yung taong binabanggit natin sa news article natin. Okay? And then next one, trying to use all of the information. Iniiwasan din natin na lahat ng information ay isinasama natin sa news article natin kasi nagkakagulo-gulo yung organization ng article natin. So kung may mga information na hindi na naman kailangan banggitin, pwede nating wag nang banggitin sa ating story. Okay? Let's talk about the lead naman, okay? The lead is the introductory paragraph. It is the most important information. It is also called as the opening paragraph. It is the most important part of the news story. Bakit? With so many sources of information. For example, yung newspapers, mga magazine, television, radio, at saka yung internet, readers simply are not willing to read beyond the first paragraph or sometimes even the first sentence of a story unless it grabs their interest. So a good lead does just that. It gives readers the most important information in a clear, in a concise, and in an interesting manner. It also establishes yung voice tsaka yung direction ng article na sinusulat natin. So as a writer, you should ask yourself, what do my readers need to know most? Ano yung pinakakailangan nilang malaman? Okay, ayun yung ilalagay natin sa ating lead. Okay? Here are some tips in writing the lead. The first one is the 5 W's and H. So before writing a lead, decide which aspect of the story from the W's and H. Yung who, yung what, yung when, yung why, yung where, and then yung H natin or yung how. So ano yung pinaka-importante mula dyan sa W's and H natin? You should also emphasize those aspects in your lead. So wait to explain less important aspects until ma-reach natin yung second or yung third paragraph natin. Another one is yung conflict. Good stories have conflict, so do many good leads. Okay? Next one naman is yung specificity. Okay? Though you are essentially summarizing information in most leads, try to be specific as possible. So if your lead is too broad, it won't be informative and it won't interest your readers. Okay? And we also have yung brevity. Okay? Readers want to know why the story matters to them. Okay? And they won't wait long for the answer. So leads are often one sentence, sometimes two. Generally, they are 25 to 30 words and should rarely be more than 40 words. Okay? So this is somewhat arbitrary, but it's important, especially for young journalists, to learn how to deliver information concisely. Okay? Next one, the use of active sentences. Okay? Strong verbs will make your lead lively and it will make your lead interesting. Okay? So yung passive constructions, ano kasi yan, it can sound dull and leave out important information such as the person or the thing that caused the action. So incomplete reporting is often a source of passive leads. Kaya active sentences ang ginagamit natin when we are writing the lead. Okay? Next one, audience and context. Okay? Take into account what your readers already know. Okay, remember that in today's media culture, most readers become aware of breaking news as it happens. Okay, because of ICT. Okay, because we have now the internet and the computer and other gadgets. Okay, and the last one is honesty. Okay, a lead is an implicit a lead is an implicit promise to your readers. So you must be able to deliver what you promised in your lead. Okay? And what naman to avoid? We should avoid flowery and unnecessary words when we are writing the lead. So many beginning writers make the mistake of actually overusing adverbs and adjectives in their leads. So concentrate instead on using strong verbs and strong nouns. So unnecessary words or phrases naman, watch out for their for an intentional redundancy. For instance, saying 2 p.m. in the afternoon, okay? Automatic ang 2 p.m. afternoon na siya. So wag tayong redundant. So tanggalin na natin yung in the afternoon. 2 p.m. will do. Okay? Next in our discussion is the different types of lead. The first one is the summary lead. So this is perhaps the most traditional lead in news writing. It is often used for breaking news. Okay, yung straight news leads tends to provide answers doon sa mga important W's and H natin. So historically, this type of lead has been used to convey who, what, when, and where. But in today's fast-paced media atmosphere, a straightforward recitation of who, what, when, and where can sound stale by the time a newspaper hits the stands. Okay? So some newspapers are now adjusting to this reality by posting breaking news online as it happens and filling the print edition with more evaluative and analytical stories. Kaya nagfo-focus na sila sa pagsagot sa tanong na why or sa tanong na how. Okay? So, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng summary lead. Depende sa kung ano yung pinaka-importante na i-highlight natin sa ating sa mga information na ibibigay sa atin. The first one is the who lead. Okay? It answers the question who, sino. Okay? For example, Governor Juan de la Cruz made a brief appearance at Bataan Peninsula State University last Thursday after giving a speech at the Dinulupihan Civic Center. So it actually answers the question who made a brief appearance at BPSU last Thursday. Okay? So Governor Juan de la Cruz. Okay? That's for the who lead. Okay? Next one, we have the when lead. Okay? Pakitulungan nga akong basahin ang when lead. So, Ma'am Lizette, nandyan ka na ba?
Yes, sir.
Ayan, nandyan na si Ma'am Lizette.
Nalilinig po, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Naririnig po
Okay
kayo.
po. Sige, for the when lead, on Saturday, Senator Pedro Perez spoke to the senior class about how important community organizing and volunteering are to the country.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma'am Lizette. So for this
Welcome
kind
po.
of summary lead, ang sinasagot niya naman is yung tanong na when. Okay? When did Senator Pedro Perez speak to the senior class about how important community organizing and volunteering are to the country? So ang sagot is on Saturday. Dito naman, ginagamit natin ang when did kapag ang pinaka-importanting information na kailangang mabasa ng mga reader natin ay yung date or kung kailan nangyari yung event. Okay? After the when lead, we also have the where lead. Okay? So where lead naman natin, pakibasa nga, Ma'am Jillian, nandyan po ba kayo?
Yes, sir.
Ayan.
Where lead? In the principal's office, the senior class dumped 30 pounds of sand to protest the cancellation of the senior trip to Ilocos.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Jillian. For this kind of summary lead naman, it answers the question where, okay? Saan? Okay? So saan nangyari ang pagdadump ng 30 pounds of sand para sa protest ng mga senior students sa cancellation ng senior trip nila sa Ilocos? So in the principal's office. So ang pinaka-importanting element is yung where. Okay? So that's for the where lead. Next one, we have the how lead. Okay? Pakibasa nga po yung example nating lead sa how. Ma'am Sandra, are you there? Okay, Sir Sayan, pakibasa nga yung sample natin for the how lead.
Hello po, sir. Naririnig po.
Yes.
How lead? Through a grassroots voting effort, Honorable Ana Santos won the mayoral election to become the second known mayor in the town's history.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Sayan. For this lead naman, sinasagot niya yung how. Okay, sinasagot niya yung tanong na how. Paano ba nangyari? Okay? Paano nanalo ng mayoral election si Honorable Ana Santos? Okay? Through a grassroots voting effort. Okay? So that's the how lead. And the last one for the summary lead, we have what we call as the why lead. Okay? So ako na yung magbabasa nito. For why lead naman, ang example natin, because they wanted to carry on the tradition for seniors streaked across the football stadium during the homecoming pep rally wearing a tennis shoes. Okay? Dito sa example natin, ang sinasagot niya is yung why. Bakit? Okay? Bakit ba, why did the four seniors streak across the football stadium during the home pep rally wearing a tennis shoes? Because they wanted to carry on the tradition. Okay? That's the why lead. Another example of news leads ay yung novelty lead na tinatawag natin. This is used naman in news features, okay? It is written in such a way that it will attract the attention or it will carry out a definite purpose. So among this kind of novelty leads are yung astonisher lead. We also have yung contrast lead, yung parody lead. We also have yung epigram lead na tinatawag natin. Meron din tayong punch lead. Okay, meron ding picture lead, yung one-word lead, background lead, quotation lead, descriptive lead, tsaka yung question lead natin. So I have here an example. Okay, water, water everywhere, but no water to drink. This was what the flood victims found in their dismay. So this lead can be used kung ang ginagawa nating article is for example sa isang evacuation center na nandoon yung mga flood victims natin, and then doon sa evacuation center walang tubig na maiinom. Okay, walang tubig na maiinom. So 'di ba medyo ironic kasi nga mga flood victims sila pero wala silang mainom na tubig. So we can use this kind of lead. Okay, water, water everywhere but no water to drink. This is called as novelty lead. Okay? Pwede rin natin gamitin yung mga question lead, okay? Or quotation lead, or descriptive lead, okay? So those are the different kinds naman ng novelty lead, okay? Now let's talk about the body, okay? So paano natin sisimulan ng ating body? In the body, we are using the TQ formula. Okay? Or the transition quotation formula. Paano ba ang transition quotation formula? So of course, the first paragraph is all about the lead. Okay? Sabi ko nga, it is the most important information. You should focus on the newest information. So ayun yung lead natin. Susunod na paragraph, ano na yung ilalagay natin? Okay? Additional information or the background information. So pwedeng related pa rin yun sa ating lead. Okay? So important information not found in the lead, sometimes not needed. Okay? And then after nun, magsisimula na yung quotation transition natin. So first one, we have the direct quotation. We can put direct quotation. So saan natin makukuha yung direct quotation? Pwedeng sa speech kung merong nag-speech. Pwede rin sa interview kung meron tayong i-interviewin na tao na importante para sa ating news article. Okay? Ano ba yung ginagawa ng direct quotation? It connects the additional information or lead. Okay? Sometimes, gumagamit tayo ng mas mahaba sa isang sentence na quotation. Depende kasi yun sa pagkakasabi ng ating in-interview or sa pagkakabanggit ng nag-speech. Okay? And then after the direct quotation, we now have the transition. So next, important facts or opinion for the story. So use transition words to help story flow. Ano ba yung mga transitional words na pwede natin gamitin? So for example, inference, incongruence, congruently. On the other hand, ano pa? Additionally, in addition, furthermore, moreover, those are some transitional words in English. Sa Filipino naman, when we are writing a Filipino news article, ang pwede natin gamitin na transitional words ay ang mga sumusunod. Yung sa kabilang dako, sa kabilang banda, dagdag pa rito, subalit, and so on and so forth. Okay? And then after yung transition, pwede tayong paulit-ulit na direct quotation, transition, direct quotation, transition, and so on until the story is complete. Okay? I'm going to show you an example of an article na nagpapakita ng transition quotation. Okay? Okay. So this is an example of a news article na nagpapakita ng TQ formula. So the title or the headline of the article is MNHS Advances IP Education. Will you please read the first paragraph? Ma'am Lizette, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Please read the first paragraph, ma'am.
Okay. MNHS advances IP education in line with its trust in advocating culture-based education. Magsaysay National High School continues to fortify its engagement with indigenous peoples, communities by providing accessible, relevant, and liberating basic education for them.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Lizette. Ma'am Lizette, ano ulit yung tawag natin sa first paragraph ng article natin?
Lead po, sir.
Okay, very good. So that is our lead. Okay, for the next paragraph, Sir Sayan, are you there? Pwede pong pakibasa yung second paragraph?
Hello po, sir. Dr. Glaceria C. Mateo, the school principal of MNHS, underscored that this move is helmed to the DepEd's mission and vision to make education culture sensitive, culture responsive, and learner-centered.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Sayan. So ang ating second paragraph naman ay yung background na, okay, na konektado sa lead. Okay? After nyan, we have the quotation na. Magsisimula na tayo sa TQ. Okay? The first one is the quotation, direct quotation. It is vital for MNHS to strengthen its IP education. Mayroon tayong less than 50 students here in the junior and senior high na bahagi ng different IP communities. We need to recognize their needs so that we could provide them the appropriate education. Mateo stated. Okay, that is direct quotation dahil gumamit na tayo ng quotation marks and direct ang pagkakasabi niyan ng in-interview natin, which is si Ma'am Mateo. Okay? After niyan, we have the transition. Okay? As per Mateo, during the strategic planning held before the opening of classes this school year, some issues related to IP education were discussed. That is our transitional sentence. After that, balik ulit tayo sa quotation. Okay, we already planned the different programs and projects for our IP education learners. Okay, this year the school will try its best to train our teachers to be more culture-based in teaching. She emphasized. That is a direct quotation. Okay? And then for the last sentence natin, yung tail ng ating news article, Mateo also explained how the IP education responds to the right of education learners to basic education and how it develops and enhances the Philippine education system on the whole. Okay? So that is our example article na nagpo-follow ng inverted triangle structure as well as yung TQ formula natin or yung transition quotation formula. Okay? So talking about direct and indirect quotation, we have two kinds of quotations when we are quoting. Saan natin makukuha ulit yung mga quotation na ilalagay natin sa article natin? Pwedeng galing sa speech, pwede rin galing sa interview. Okay, anong pagkakaiba nilang dalawa? Kapag direct ang quotation, the statement is directly stated by the person na nagsabi noon. Okay? So for example, with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man said. Okay, gagamit tayo ng open and close quotation mark. Okay? Indirect naman, Spider-Man said that with great power comes great responsibility. Okay? So yun yung kaibahan ng direct and indirect quotation. Okay? Napakahalaga niyan sa ating news article. And dapat accurate din yung pag-state natin ng mga quotation at statement galing sa mga tao na involved sa event na sinusulat natin. Okay? For quotation, remember that the first time a source is introduced in an article, you should use that source's full name and title. Okay? After nung initial reference, we can use the last name only. Okay? Example. Okay, for instance, this one, the COVID-19 vaccine is an incredible advance in modern medicine, said Health and Human Service Secretary Jan Perez. Okay, Perez also mentioned that there are still ongoing tests on the effectiveness of the vaccine. So dun sa unang paragraph natin, buo ang pagkakasabi natin ng pangalan, buong pangalan, Jan Perez. Pero sa susunod, Perez na lang. This is also a rule in copy reading. Okay, sa mga susunod, sa mga succeeding statements natin, sentences, gagamitin natin is apelido na lang. Next one. Even when information from a source is not used in a direct quotation and is paraphrased instead, it still must be attributed to that source. Okay? So example natin dito, merong attribution pa rin kahit na indirect quotation. For example, Health and Human Services Secretary Jan Perez said that the COVID-19 vaccine is an incredible advance in modern medicine. So even though indirect quotation na siya, binabanggit pa rin natin kung sino yung nagsabi. Okay? In attributing information naman, we must remember that all information in a news article must be attributed to the source properly, where the writer got the information. Okay? The writer must also indicate in their article where the materials was obtained. Pwedeng sa interview, pwedeng sa court documents, sa census, sa websites, at sa kung ano-ano pang resources. So direct quotes and paraphrasing can be used to attribute information obtained in an interview with a source. So ito yung example natin. So in our example, saan nakuha ng writer ang kanyang data? From a police report. Okay? Sa second example naman natin, saan nakuha ng writer ang kanyang data? From the investigators. Okay? So ayun. So attributing information. So another example of a news article. So ito naman, magtanong spearheads Project Sikhay. This is one of the articles of one of my campus journalists, I think 2 years ago. So dito makikita natin, we have the lead, we have the background information, and nagpapalo pa rin siya ng TQ formula, yung transition quotation. So makikita nyo doon sa third paragraph natin, yung social awareness is a trait imperative, and so on, quotation na siya. And then after nun, transition, and then quotation, and then yung pinaka-tail natin. Okay? Okay, do you have any questions? May tanong ba tayo? Okay, I think wala namang tanong. So, I think enrichment naman tayo. Okay? Short activity lang to. So, I have here some information and I want you to create a lead from this information. I'm going to give you 1 minute lang siguro kasi madali lang naman ito. So, make a short lead about this information na nakikita nyo sa ating slide. Okay? So, meron tayong what? Yung election of the Supreme Student Government. Yung who? Student candidates and the voters. Okay, they are involved in the election of the Supreme Student Government. Saan nangyari? Magsaysay National High School. When? Last February 1. Why? Okay, to elect new officers of the student body. Paano nangyari? Through automated election. Okay, your time starts now. So, gawa kayo ng very short lead lang naman. Okay? Sige, kahit wag nyo nang isulat, kahit nasa isip nyo na lang, tingnan natin kung makakagawa tayo. Okay? Sige nga, tingnan nga natin, Sir Sayan, meron ka bang naiisip na lead for this information na nakikita mo sa slide natin? Sir Sayan? Ma'am Lizette. Ayan, si Sir Sayan. Okay na si Sir Sayan. Ayan, okay na si Sir Sayan. Sige. Can you make a short lead about this information?
Okay po, wait lang, sir.
Okay, sige. So, pwedeng who, pwedeng what, pwedeng where, pwedeng when, pwedeng why, or pwedeng how ang unahin natin. Depende sa kung ano ang pinaka-importante. Okay? Sige. May sagot na ba si Sayan? Summary lead lang ang ating gagawin. So not the novelty lead. Okay? Kasi kapag sa novelty lead, medyo kailangan nating mag-isip ng mabuti kung ano yung magandang novelty na ilalagay natin. Kapag kasi summary lead, titingnan lang natin what is the most important information from all the data, okay, na ibinigay sa atin or na nakuha natin from that event. Okay? Tito, ano ba yung pinaka-importante? Okay? Ano yung pinaka-importanting magiging element ng news natin from this information? Okay? Sayan, meron ka na bang nagawang lead?
Meron na, sir. Try.
Okay, sige.
In lieu with the COVID-19 protocols, Magsaysay National High School conducted its election of Supreme Student Government last February 1 through automated election to elect the new officers of the student body.
Okay, very good, Sir Sayan. So, si Sir Sayan, ang inuna niya ay bakit nag-conduct ng automated election? Okay, bakit automated ang ginawang election? Because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, very good. So, doon nakita natin yung element na what, nakita rin natin yung who, yung where, yung when, yung why, and yung how. Okay? So, ayun. So, next one, we have another example, pero ano na lang siguro ito, let's have it as an assignment. Sige. Dahil medyo sosobra tayo sa oras. Okay, ayan. Okay, so before I end my discussion, let's first have a recapitulation of everything that we learned from today, from our discussion today. First one, what is news? It is the presentation of information. Okay, what are the different elements of news? Immediacy. We also have proximity, prominence, or yung gaano ka-famous yung tao. We have adity, or yung queerness, yung conflict, or yung problem. We also have the consequence. We have the drama and the progress or development. For the structure, we can follow the inverted pyramid structure or yung inverted triangle. And we also have yung TQ formula or the transition quotation formula. Okay, ang TQ formula actually, magagamit ito lalo na ng mga kakasimula pa lang magsulat na campus journalist. Okay? So, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much to our 4 students who actively participated for our discussion for today. Okay, maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very interactive and fruitful demo teaching. Now we will proceed to our question and answer portion. Our first question is from Jessamine Jade Meliton. How can we motivate students on their modular distance learning on campus journalism? These students cannot think of other duties aside from answering modules due to it is too demanding.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. That is actually a good question. In our school, I am the chairperson for research and publication, and I also act as the school publication advisor. This year, I actually conducted an online workshop kasi yearly we are conducting a journalism camp in our school. Ngayon kasi we cannot conduct journalism camp dahil nga meron tayong pandemic. So ang ginawa ko is that nagkaroon din kami ng paradigm shift mula sa journalism camp namin na yearly namin ginagawa. Ngayon, ang ginawa namin is virtual workshop for our students to encourage them na magsulat pa rin kahit na nasa gitna tayo ng pandemic. In terms naman of yung marami silang ginagawa sa modular learning nila, ang modular learning kasi pwede nating kahit papaano is bawasan para sa mga estudyante natin. Okay? Ang mga estudyante kasi natin, lalo na yung mga campus journalist natin, they are responsible students naman. So I think kaya pa rin nilang pagsabayin yung mga modules, yung pagsagot ng modules nila or yung if they have online class, tsaka yung activities na involved is campus journalism. Okay?
Thank you very much, sir. Our next question is from Galaraga Rina. Good afternoon, sir. Would it be possible to start using both English and Wikang Filipino or Taglish in teaching journalism to our students nowadays? Then they will also make articles in Taglish. Thank you po.
Taglish kasi is somehow informal. Code switching kasi yun kapag Taglish na siya. Okay? When we are writing, it's either English or Filipino ang medium na gagamitin natin. Paano lang nagkakaroon ng terms na English terms ang ating Filipino article kapag gagamitan natin siya ng quotation at sinabi talaga ay English talaga yung speech or yung interview na nangyari. Paano naman nagkakaroon ng Filipino words ang ating English article? Doon din sa quotation din natin kapag Tagalog or Filipino yung ginamit na wika ng ating mga estudyante. Pero definitely, avoid natin yung code switching sa pagsulat natin ng article. Okay? It's either English or Filipino.
Thank you, sir. And our last question is from Christian Nana. What is your basis to have passion in news writing?
Actually, passion in campus journalism in general. Okay, not only in news writer, but I was a news writer when I was a campus journalist. Kasi nagsimula ako talaga bata pa lang, okay, elementary pa lang, and I also joined the student publication in high school until college. Okay, sa college, I serve as the editor-in-chief of Malasimbu, the official student publication of Bataan Peninsula State University, Dinalupihan Campus. And dahil nga English major ako, related yung aking course sa campus journalism, mas naging involved ako, okay, sa journalism. And ngayon, from being a campus journalist, I am now a school publication advisor. I don't only serve my students in terms of campus journalism, I also share my little knowledge to campus journalists and school publication advisors in our province, in Bataan, in Region 3, and in the Philippines kapag ka naiimbitahan tayong mag-talk sa mga division, regional, or national journalism trainings and seminars.
Thank you very much, sir. That's all the questions we have for now. Any last reminders to our viewers for today po?
Okay, so first and foremost, thank you very much, Ma'am Jillian, for the invitation. Thank you very much to the people of Vival Group. I would also like to thank Ma'am Lizette and Sir Sayan for joining me as my students for our discussion today. For my last reminder, always advocate truthfulness and accuracy. Okay, napakahalagang dalawang elemento na napakahalaga kapag ka ikaw ay isang campus journalist. Truthfulness and accuracy. Okay? Before we end our session for today, gusto ko ring batiin. Okay lang ba na bumati? Babatiin ko lang yung aking mga estudyante na nakikinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon from Sikhay, our student publication in Magsaysay National High School. Good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Hello kay Shane, nanonood si Shane, si Razel, si Dlaynor, si Jareen, si Harold, si Princess, si Kyra, si Aubrey, si Elena, si Janver, si Ian, sa editor-in-chief ko na si CJ. And hello sa lahat ng mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon. And thank you very much. Maraming salamat dahil binigyan nyo ng oras yung pakikinig sa akin ngayong oras na ito. Maraming salamat. Ma'am Jillian?
There we have it. In behalf of Vival Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this very interactive and insightful demo teaching session. It is an honor to have you with us today, sir. And to all our Vival viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Special thanks to our participants who acted as students for today, Sir Sayan and Ma'am Lizette. Don't forget to register to get your e-certificate of participation. We also encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official Vival Facebook and YouTube channel. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating